Welcome back, everybody. I hope you feel refreshed and recharged after a good cup of coffee. Excellent first panel, two panels this morning. Now I'm really excited about what comes next because these are the Tesla trucks that I promised you. It's a digital transformation case study with a difference. Now, how does a company go from trash to Tesla trucks? Evolving for a new sustainable age and becoming a digitally focused technology company with an AI-powered headquarters that, I kid you not, talks to you, inspired by science fiction stories. And if you want any idea about what this looks like, look no further than the front cover of Arabian Business, which is on your tables right now. I'm delighted to be joined by His Excellency Khaled Al Huraimel, who is the Group CEO of BIA, to take us on what is a wild ride of digital transformation. Khaled, there's a lot to unpack right there, and there's a lot in your digital story. Just take me on the journey at BIA and how you've changed to evolve into a company that deals with trash into a sustainable technology, sustainable energy company.
Sure. Good morning, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Just to give a bit of background about BIA, so people who do not know our organization. So we're a public-private partnership. We were set up in 2007, but we started operating in 2009. So when we were first set up, we were looking at the company initially was set up to tackle the environmental challenges this region is facing. So we looked at one of the major problems was waste. Our region generates the highest waste per capita in the world, the UAE and the Gulf region. So this was the first area that we tackled, and to build the infrastructure starting from Sharjah. And today in the Emirate of Sharjah, we've reached the highest diversion rate away from landfill in all of the Middle East, 76%. And during this time, we've built 9 different facilities to treat waste, to recover waste. But during this journey also, looking at our target for zero waste, we looked at other areas. We looked at how would the company grow. Once I reach my target of zero waste, how can I continue growing? One is geographic expansion, one is diversification. So we've been expanding. We started moving out of Sharjah. Now we're actually all over the UAE. And now we are also in Saudi, we are also in Egypt. So that's our geographic expansion. And when we looked at diversification and sustainability, for us, we believe that another strong pillar to achieve your sustainability goals is to go digital. Mm-hmm. So we started investing a lot on digital for the last 7 years, and even created our own digital ventures. So today BIA has become, yes, we started in waste management, but now we've become an investment holding group that's in waste management, that's in energy, digital. We are also in transport and healthcare.
So, but you've also become a technology creator, yes? You're white labeling your own technology. I mean, it sounds like you're the classic case of a business that's recognized it needs to pivot into and lean into technology and digital transformation. So tell the audience a little bit more about
we feel for us to compete and sustain our business and grow, we must go digital. So in our own business, whatever we do, we invest. So to give you an example, in waste management, we have a product called Waste Pro Plus that we developed, and is able to track waste from the source all the way to how we divert it. All our vehicles, we have over 2,000 vehicles, they are tracked. We have, even in the bins that we collect, we have RFID tags. Some of the bins have sensors. So we're able to really capture that data and use that data to improve our diversion rate. And now, towards our target of zero waste, and I talked about also that BIA is also in energy, we are now going to complete the construction of the first waste-to-energy plant in the region. It will be commissioned before the end of the year. This is through a joint venture with Masdar, 50-50 JV, company called Emirates Waste-to-Energy Company. And that will help us reach our target of zero waste. So whatever waste from the 76 that I'm able to divert, the 24 that I cannot treat will go into this facility and be converted to 30 megawatts of power.
So they say that change starts in the home. Let's talk about your home, specifically your new home, which, again, the pictures are on the magazine there. This is your new headquarters, designed by the famed architect Dame Zaha Hadid. It's got some fairly unique features, hasn't it? Tell us more about
Sure.
how digital transformation is woven into your new home.
So as BIA has evolved, our headquarters had to reflect who we are. So we are now, the two pillars we focus on is on sustainability and digitalization. So the building designed by the late Zaha Hadid, one of the last building that was designed by her before she passed away, will be one of the most sustainable. It will be powered by 100% by renewable energy, by solar, and we have the energy storage from Tesla power packs. It will be LEED Platinum certified, which is the highest for sustainable building, and it will be one of the smartest buildings in the region. It will be the first fully integrated AI building, and that's not just how the building is managed in terms of facility management, but also how visitors, how staff interact with the building. It will also learn. So we've developed hundreds of use cases of how the office of the future will work. And this building will be ready in the next 2 months, actually, so we're almost there. And we've developed these AI use cases with Johnson Control, Microsoft, and our digital venture, Evotech. So some of the use cases is if you come to visit us, the building will recognize you before you even come, will guide you to who you're there to meet. So if you're coming to meet me, it'll inform me that you're there. While we're in our meeting, the building will be listening to us. When you walk out, you will receive the minutes by email. This is just one use case. Another use case, the more you visit, it will know what type of coffee you like. When do you like your coffee? So these are just examples, but we've developed hundreds of use cases, including we're linking it to the ERP, so staff can just talk to the building if they want to apply for leave. It'll also study the pattern of the performance of staff. We will capture that data. So we're really looking at how will, again, the office of the future work, and we're still developing more use cases.
So if I want to book a holiday, I just tell the building that I want to book a holiday.
Probably
I don't
you
have
could
to
do
fill
that.
out that form in triplicate with HR and IT.
Yes, so that's the plan. We want to make things very seamless so people can focus on their core business.
Now, it's interesting because you're leaning really, really far into AI there, aren't you? Because some people think, in the Matrix it was there to enslave us. In the Terminator, it came from the future to kill us. But you're looking at AI as a massive opportunity.
Yeah. So definitely we are embracing digitalization because, again, for us to survive and to grow, we need to be digital. I was talking earlier, we have actually set up 3 different digital ventures.
Okay.
We have Evotech that we established about 3 years ago based in Dubai, and it's working on the largest digital transformation of a public sector with one of the clients in the GCC. Also, with the Ministry of Health in the UAE, we have the track and trace of all medicine in the UAE. So we have an advanced track and trace tool that we have developed called Smart Track. So that's also being implemented as we speak.
Yeah.
And then they're doing a lot of other work actually also. Another digital venture we established last year is Real Life. And Real Life we'll be building platforms. So we've already built 2 platforms. Real Life Market and Real Life Collect. Real Life Market is a marketplace for recyclable commodity trading, so that you can actually download the app, and we are actually in the UAE the biggest trader of these commodities. And then we have Real Life Collect, which is basically the best way to explain it is the Uberization of waste collection and transport. So that's also, you can download it, it's already available. And the third venture we announced, but we will be starting construction soon, is that we will be building the first data center in Sharjah, so a tier 3 data center. So this is, again, investing in the infrastructure of a smart city and providing for helping Sharjah go more digital. So that will be that's a joint venture with Al Khazna Data Center, which is the largest developer of data centers in the UAE.
So with all that development and all that leaning into technology, if I'm a business out there, say I'm a startup, do I look at BIA as a potential collaborator? Are you fostering a culture of innovation? What can businesses learn from what you've been doing at BIA, or how can they be part of that journey?
Well, at BIA, we've done a lot of partnerships. We also work with a lot of universities. We are one of the founding members of Shira', which is the incubator hub in Sharjah. So we also supported a lot of startups. And as I said, we have actually done a lot of partnerships and collaborations So we're definitely open to any ideas, whether it's digital or sustainable, supporting it, how it can add to the quality of life of people in the region. We are definitely open to all these opportunities.
Just make our audience slightly jealous for a moment, or give them a shopping list to take back to their HR departments of this is what we want in the office of the future. Can you give us a couple more use cases that you're building into your HQ? Because I think you're also helping your employees even get to work on time. Is that not correct?
Well, for the AI use cases, it doesn't just apply to the building.
Yeah.
We're talking about, so when we're building these use cases is for across the group. We're highlighting the building because that's what you see, that's an iconic building that we've developed. But the AI use case we developed will be applicable in any of BA's offices. So including in Saudi, including in Egypt. We just actually entered Saudi Arabia last year. In Medina, we have now 3,000 staff in Saudi, and also last year we entered Cairo. We have about 1,000 people in Cairo. So, but a lot of the use cases you'll get to experience in our visitor center. We also have in our HQ, in our headquarters. But we actually also have a visitor center, right, so that we will welcome guests, whether from schools or businesses, to start experiencing even how corporate board presentations are done. So we'll really look at how far can we keep developing this. It's for us, it's just a start, and we want to keep pushing to invest more in digital as we move forward.
Quick reminder as well, please, if you've got questions for Khaled, fire them at us at WhatsApp, even if it's again to inquire about more things their amazing building can do. I promised the audience to talk about Tesla trucks. Let's just touch on Tesla trucks for a moment, because you have got some Tesla trucks on order, haven't you?
Yeah. As a waste management company, we have now 2,000 vehicles, and one of the main contributors for air pollution is transport. So we've been looking at how do we make our fleet more green. Mm-hmm. And one is we actually placed an order for the largest order for Tesla trucks, semi-trucks in the region. These are not the cyber trucks, which are the small vehicles. These are long haulage trucks, because we transport waste from the East Coast to our waste treatment facility. So those will all be replaced with Tesla trucks. We were supposed to start receiving them last year, but production at Tesla got delayed. They're actually starting production later this year. So hopefully before the end of the year, we'll get our first trucks. Now, talking about that, also we actually set up another venture called Ion Mobility, which provides sustainable mobility solutions. So from autonomous vehicles to ride-hailing platforms to building infrastructure of charging stations, we've been actually doing all of that. In Masdar City, for example, the autonomous pods we operate, we launched also in Masdar City a ride-hailing platform that only applies to electric vehicles. So we have a fleet of electric vehicles there. In Sharjah now we are building the infrastructure of charging stations across to promote EVs. So that's another venture that, again, to promote and have people start switching to electric vehicles.
How much are your employees out there in the field looking forward to going, what's your work vehicle? I drive a Tesla.
Well, I think, as definitely there will be a lot more Teslas within our fleet.
Okay. You've talked about the digitization that's been woven into the HQ. Just expand a little bit. You were saying there about how you're weaving that into the rest of the business. I'm interested, how are you weaving that into the rest of BIA in terms of fostering that culture of innovation and that culture of innovation inside BIA as an organization?
As a group, we are now forming to a holding structure. And innovation is and digitalization. It's embraced across the group, and the example is us alone investing in digital ventures ourselves. So if you look at all our businesses, whether in energy, we built the first waste to energy plant, and now actually we will be. We've already announced, but we will start. Very soon, the construction of the first waste-to-hydrogen plant, which will be one of the first in the world. So you can see even on the energy side, we're also
Innovative.
And waste management, definitely we're innovators too. And now also we will be building a 300-bed hospital in Sharjah, and we will be announcing more details later. That will also be the hospital of the future. So with all that we've learned, we'll also look at that. And again, it goes back to the vision of BIA, which is quality of life, sustainable quality of life. So we'll be complementing everything that we do.
So it's almost like your headquarters is that the testing bed for a lot of this technology that you're then going to implement in different other projects, whether that be the smart government that you're doing or the hospital of the future. Can we expect to see AI-powered hospitals?
We definitely are looking at that. We're looking at that in everything. Even in waste management today, we are applying AI and how the routes for our waste collection vehicles are done. So we collect data on the routes, on the traffic, and so on, and then daily the driver will get an automated route based on the data that's collected over time.
How much have you, I mean, we had a lot in the first panel, first panel and the second panel about data collection. How important is that?
Sorry?
Data collection and data.
Yeah.
How important has that become to you as a company, and how have you expanded to take advantage?
Well, that's actually very important, and this is where we are. We have data scientists that we've hired. We're really looking at the more data I can collect and analyze and use AI to study ways to do things better. Definitely. So we will be looking at collecting a lot more data as we move forward. And again, the example is that we're even investing in the first data center in Sharjah.
The first?
Data center.
First data center.
Yeah.
Again, sorry. If we look back at 2020, everyone that we talk to talks about 2020 kind of accelerating and companies doubling down on technology during coronavirus. What was your experience as a company?
Well, I
what
think,
did it teach you?
2020 was an extremely busy year for us, and also everyone started recognizing more the areas that we actually have been focusing on, which is sustainability and digitalization. People started seeing hearing more in the news the global environmental challenges that are being faced, and people started going more digital in how they work and so on. And these are two pillars we've been doing before COVID, and it just accelerated our growth actually. And even 2020 is when we went international. So entered Saudi during this pandemic time. We entered Egypt. Yes, there was a lot of challenges with travel and restrictions, but we were able to mobilize 3,000 people in Medina during COVID.
How did you manage to achieve that? I mean, was that, again,
honestly,
remote working?
it was a lot of challenges because, as you might know, during last year in Saudi, they had travel restrictions you cannot fly from the UAE. And so how can I mobilize 3,000 people and set that to manage the waste for one of the holy sites, Medina? So we actually had people flying to Bahrain, Oman, quarantining in hotels for 2 weeks and entering from different places. That was the only way. So and we did it. You know, we have mobilized, and now we are managing Medina.
We've got a question coming in from the audience here. Oh, I think this is interesting. You're asking, would it be more functional to open facilities closer to waste collection points rather than transporting waste to a centralized facility?
Well, definitely, these are areas that we're looking at, and we also have transfer stations. So in Sharjah, for example, the waste doesn't go directly to the landfill or the facility. It goes first to the transfer station. And there's some segregation happening there before it goes. Now, the other also thing that we're looking at, I talked about the waste to hydrogen. The waste to hydrogen, actually, we're looking at small modular plants, which will be filling stations at the same time. And those we will have in different locations. So we will be investing in a fleet of hydrogen-powered collection vehicles. So the same vehicle that will collect waste will dump that waste in this facility, which will convert to hydrogen and power the same vehicle. So it'll be a full circular loop. So this is something that we're also looking at doing very soon.
And you were talking to me before the break about your plans in solar power as well, because you talked about your headquarters there. But solar power is, is another technology that you're investing heavily into, yes? Yeah.
So I talked about waste to energy. We're generating 30 megawatts with our first plant. Now, when we achieve zero waste with that, we have the landfill. it's a large landfill that in Sharjah, so we had to look at what to do. Once I reach, I will not require the landfill anymore. How I can repurpose that landfill, and we have decided that we will make it a solar landfill. So the surface area of this landfill, which is actually we're not using most of it today, will become a solar farm, which will generate up to 150 megawatts of power. Just to give you the scale of that, so the waste to energy, which is 30 megawatts, is enough to power up to 30,000 homes. So between the waste to energy and our solar, we'll be generating almost 180 megawatts of renewable energy. Our HQ is already, our headquarters already has a solar farm. We generate 1.8 megawatts. So that's already installed. But we're looking at investing more in renewables.
What's the business case for all of this? I mean, does this make you a more sustainable company? Does this make you a more profitable company? If the audience is out there going, for the businesses that are out there going, it sounds amazing, but it sounds like a lot of work. Why should I go there? Why should companies go there? Why should they embrace digital transformation the way that beer is?
Well, I think, for us, we are a public-private partnership, but we operate as a private entity. And we self-finance all our expansion. So we're not getting any subsidies. So starting with waste, recovering waste, selling waste to be processed, all of that helped us reinvest. You have to go digital. So that's what we've been doing, and that's also helped us move the way we are. Having gone more. We're in terms of waste management, we operate also in most areas of Dubai. We do the waste management at Dubai Airport, at Burj Khalifa, at World Trade Center.
Okay.
So Abu Dhabi, we have 1,000 people in Abu Dhabi too. So investing in digital early on really has benefited us. So we can focus on our core business.
So has it been a case of, and again, if you're looking, if businesses in the room are looking to take a lesson away from it, is it pivot, scale, pivot, scale, pivot, scale? Has your decision to pivot into technology and lean into that opened up new markets so then you can scale up and the company keeps growth? Yeah. You said earlier on about how do we achieve growth after we hit that target?
Yeah, so for us, first we had to go digital. So as in our own core business. So we started investing in that. And then from there, we started setting up our own digital ventures and providing solutions to other entities. Based from our experience. So this is something that we will continue doing.
I'm getting besieged by questions, which is really, really good. Does beer look at launching a B2C product which can be scaled in MENA, going customer first and giving them power to control their carbon footprint? You are very much into sustainability now, so talk to us about your plans to reduce carbon footprints or help your partners reduce their carbon footprints.
In terms of B2C, we do have loyalty programs. We do have what we call reverse vending machines in different locations. So if you deposit recycled material, you get points, and you can redeem these points for gifts and so on. Also, we have programs at schools. We have the BS School of Environment that's already done programs for over 250,000 students to date. And we've been running that program for 10 years. It's gone now more digital. We used to have a lot of events, physical events with the schools. So now our platforms, the real life platforms, also there's B2B and B2C. So if you want to transport bulky good from one location to the other, you can use that. Or you just want to dispose of waste, bulky waste, you can also use the platform. So we are doing a lot of B2C also.
Another question dropping in, I suspect I know the answer to it. How much is the R&D value for beer? I think you value R&D greatly, no?
Definitely. We have actually invested in research projects with several universities. So with the University of Sharjah, with AUS, with Khalifa University, UAE University. So we've financed a lot of research, and we continue to do that. And we also have our own consultancy, research and innovation department that does a lot of research, and also consultancy. So we actually offer through our consultancy division, we provide services to public and private, and that's also a very busy business that we're growing.
When you are doing that consultancy business, what are you actually telling your customers?
Sorry?
When you that consultancy business, what are you actually telling your customers? I mean, I imagine that's lessons learned on the road as beer. But
Well, as you said, today with what COVID has taught us is, the importance of investing in being more sustainable.
Yes.
And investing in being more digital. So if you look at sustainable, many organizations now want to go more sustainable. We help them. Then we come on board and we help them, put a roadmap for them and help them if they want us also to implement it. So we have actually engaged a lot of private and public sector in that.
I mean, we touched upon this on panel 2 as well, where when we were asked like what are the big technological challenges, and we went on to climate change, we went on to sustainability, and it's almost increasingly impossible to separate one from the other. Where are you at? Where do you think the UAE is at as well on that sustainability journey? And also, how important is it for companies that are not embracing ESG and not embracing sustainability to actually get in there and dive into it?
I think the UAE and the whole region is being the most forward-thinking when it comes to sustainability, innovation, and I think all of you are aware of all the examples the UAE is doing. For example, for renewables, the UAE is actually meeting its targets for renewables, and for waste management, the UAE's put a target of reaching 75% diversion rate away from landfill, and it's heading towards that target. And the UAE continues to be a pioneer in these areas. Also, when it comes to digital, the UAE is one of the first in the region to digitalize their government processes and so on. And I see that the UAE continue. We are lucky to have very forward-thinking leaders that have helped the UAE lead in all these areas.
When did the point come in your journey where you recognized, and how did you actually get to the point where you recognized that we're not a waste management company anymore, we're a sustainable energy and a technology company? Where was that pivot point? What educated? How did you come to that realization?
Well, we were from day one. We knew we were not going to be only in waste management from day one. But that was the immediate problem we needed to solve.
Right.
And that actually helped us self-finance all that we've been doing.
Okay.
So when the company was set up was not just for waste. It was looking at all the environmental challenges, including air quality. So we have air quality monitoring stations now installed in different locations, including. So other than air quality, we're also in terms of digital. This started, that is for us to compete, for us to do our job better. We started investing and going more digital. Then we saw the opportunities to start reinvesting into our own digital ventures. And that started about 5 years ago.
So when you started out, you built a business model, like you were a startup, but you built that, there was always the intention to lean and pivot into technology. So you built that scalable.
Yes. So even the waste management, we've been looking at, years ago, okay, what's next for waste management? How digital can you take waste management? Can you Uberize waste management? So we've been looking at that years ago, but now we're actually implementing these projects now.
You're leading the way and the rest are trying to catch up.
Yeah.
How important, how do you, and I was going to say how important is it for businesses, how do you stop and have a look and go, right, how is our innovation fit for purpose? Are we going in the right direction? Where else can we go? Where else do we need to pivot? Because you're on one journey and it's going, it seems to be going gangbusters. But how as a company do you embrace that kind of culture of almost with a lean startup, we continue to review and look at what we're doing?
Well, I think, with us as an organization, we've been very agile.
Yeah.
So we've been changing a lot and with our growth and evolving. And we're still in that process. And now our main focus is now geographic expansion.
Right.
So Saudi and Egypt are very huge markets that are booming, and this is where we're going to be focusing a lot of our attention in the next years. But of course, our ambition is the MENA region, but these are two key markets we want to focus a lot more on.
And what's the business lesson in that for people in the room? Should it be as companies, and we've heard it, I think, a number of times today about being agile. You're a big organization now. It's easy for the would-be entrepreneurs and the small companies to pivot and to be agile.
Yeah.
How do the more established businesses out there, how do you learn?
Well, I think, for us, definitely, in our journey, we faced a lot of challenges. But we kept, heading towards our objective, adapting, and early on, I believe also our organizational structure helped. Being a public-private partnership really helped also. That government owning a share in BIA that also has influence, especially to meet sustainability goals. That definitely has helped us and supported us to reach our objective.
So you started out as a company in Sharjah. How do you describe yourself now?
Now we've grown in the last 12 years from 40 employees to 10,000 employees in 3 countries. And now we are an investment holding company with a vision to pioneer sustainable quality of life in the MENA region.
And what's the plan moving forward then? Because you say you're looking at geographic growth, whether it be technology, you're going to move into your new headquarters. What's exciting you about the next 12 to 24 months?
Well, this year we'll be achieving a lot of milestones in the last quarter.
Okay.
So our new headquarters will be open. Our waste to energy facility will also be commissioned this year, and it's really for us. It's a new chapter. We're starting a new chapter for BIA to continue growing, especially as I said earlier, more geographic growth and what we've learned here in the UAE, we want to apply in other locations, so to become a regional leader in this sector.
You want to become the first waste management unicorn out there?
Not just waste management, but I would say sustainability and digitalization, these 2 sectors, yeah.
Another question coming in from the audience, which is an interesting one, which is what are you doing to educate your customers at source, i.e. waste generation at source, which is anything from space?
I'll give the example what we've done in Sharjah. All the residential areas in Sharjah today, the low-rise residential, have 2-stream bins. And whenever we install these bins in a new neighborhood, we have a team from BIA that actually goes house to house with an awareness kit that we provide them in 4 languages to explain to them how they should segregate the waste and why we should do it. So this is one thing that we do, and we go actually house to house. Other than that, we also do a lot of campaigns throughout the year for education. We do a lot of stuff with the schools. So that's a continuous. The challenge we have in the UAE is that we have, as you know, demographics in the UAE. We have people from all over the world. A lot of them are in transit. So that education awareness is continuous and will need to be that way.
Right, I can see time is against us. I can't believe it's flown by so quickly. For the room, for the guys who've turned up today, what would be your the 3 lessons learned on your journey that you would say that companies, businesses, entrepreneurs can learn from?
Well, I think is really to embrace digital and also to invest in making your business more sustainable, because there will be value coming out of that. And I think here we are all lucky to be working out of this region and out of the UAE. So the UAE is a place where it promotes innovation and also now promotes sustainable objectives.
And if we look more long term, what do we see in 5-10 years? I mean, you're going to be moving into a headquarters that talks to you. Where does that journey go?
Well, I think we're just at the start.
Yeah.
We're just at the start. So I think there's a lot more for us to do in the region.
And do you have a name for your AI yet?
We're looking at a few options, but we have not named it yet.
Stay away from HAL 9000.
We won't call it Scott. So,
but yeah, because artificial may be intelligent. No, so yeah, we'll stay away from that one. I think that's been an amazing conversation, Khaled. If there's any more questions from the audience, text them now. If not, I think it only remains me to say that's absolutely amazing. I can't wait. I want to drive in one of those Tesla trucks, and I can't wait.
We'll arrange for that.
I can't wait to be spoken to headquarters. Ladies and gentlemen, please give Khaled a round of applause. I think it's a fascinating conversation.
Thank you, Scott.